Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, 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 believe. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. You just believe. You just believe. Just believe. You just believe.
Yes, people, welcome back to another stream. I'm just going to unmute the lads here. I've got the panel show. Do you know what I'm saying, lads? I've been dying to get the panel together because I don't know about any of you, but I'm getting bored of the no City talk, and there's no transfer news, and it's all Euros orientated. And look, I enjoy the Euros. It's a football festival, but I'm City through and through. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's always City first for me, and it's a quiet time. And I'll tell you for a fact, people in the chat, make sure you've hit the like button first. Subscribe if you're new. We're about 10 subs off 9.1k. But I'll tell you now, it's hard being a City content creator right now because there's not a huge amount happening. So we're just going to have a general conversation. We're going to have a nice chat. Got a good group here. Luke, Briggsy, Tone, Martin, got some of the big boys in here today. So we're going to have a good chat. Make sure everyone smash that thumbs up button, man. Like I said, it really, really, really does help when you hit the likes and show support to everyone here. Briggsy's on Twitter, Martin, the Mancunian Way, MCFC Tone, and City Luke TV. Great guys doing great things in their own respective fields. Right, listen, let's get into it. I don't know where we want to start. Do we want to start with RODRI? Do we want to start with a bit of Foden and England talk? Do we want to start with fixture lists is out? Do we want to I'm not sure. There's not a huge there's nothing stands out to me loud and clear that we should go, yeah, this is the topic of conversation. But how are we all doing? First of all, how are we all doing? Are we all good?
All good, mate. Thank you. Yep, all good, mate.
Everyone's good.
Yeah, sweet, man.
Standard, yeah.
How many fruit juices?
No comment, but I did have 2 Guinnesses. Jack Lee in the chat can vouch for me, and so can LB.
LB's not to be trusted on a night out, man. He's bad news. He's a bad influence on a night out. So
it was very sensible, believe me.
Yeah, I can vouch for Hugh on that one as well after Villa at home.
Yeah, he's a bad influence, man. He's a bad influence.
Apart from, I disappeared somewhere. I can't remember that night.
Naughty boy.
Yeah. That was when we went to that Mint Lounge place, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was me, you, Big Steve, Daps, LB, Freddie, Jordan, and then we ended up in some karaoke place, and I just wandered off.
I love that karaoke bar.
No, I think me and someone else were planning to do a duet, and I just wandered off. Don't know where. I just tend to have a trait when I'm drunk, just going on a little adventure. But yeah, them days are past me now.
Come on, Luke. You should give us a bit of Grease Lightning.
No, I think the song we were going to sing was Akon Smack That, and I was going to do the Eminem part.
Nice. Well, look, you're a different man now. We'll still get you sober to sing Akon next time we're at Manchester in the new season. Right. Let's start with RODRI, lads, because he's kind of the only thing that's kind of concerning, I suppose, right now about Manchester City. I don't know if you guys are still, churned up with the pursuing the Premier League or the 115, but there's not a lot happening there, and I've kind of let it just slip my mind for now. I don't like to dwell on those things for too long. But the only thing that's a bit worrying for me right now is the RODRI situation. And, you remember back as far as April, March, he was coming out himself saying that he's tired. And if he's coming out saying he's tired, you best believe he's saying a lot more behind closed doors. He's saying a lot more to the management team, to the coaching staff, to the physiotherapist, saying, look, I'm physically battered. It's a cry for help. It's saying I can't play 70, 80 odd games a season, including international football, and be relied on to the level I'm at. And then Spain come out the other day, lads, and say they're concerned about Rodri's energy levels, and so that type of thing, which kind of, indicates towards a similar train of thought that he's tired. City have said they're not going to do business unless they do sales. There's the whole Bruno Guimaraes thing, which has gone a bit quiet for now. I don't know. Is it Euros related? And I want to get some opinions here. Is it Euros related? The fact that we're not getting much transfer news, and we're probably not going to get much anytime soon, or are City preoccupied, or is it genuinely a case of they're happy to go into the squad they have, or they have now into next season with the squad they have now? Tom, we'll start with you, man.
It's probably a little mix of sort of all different things, but I don't think it will be busy incomings until people start to go. Gomez being the one who will probably go first, possibly maybe next week or sometime. But there will probably still need to be others that will need to go before they sign anyone major. You may get one in. There's some talk with the Bruno G that it's the 24th of June, the clause, but then someone said today, sorry, I don't remember who it was, but it said it's the 30th again. So whenever the bloody thing is, 24th or 30th for him, look, the interest is there. We know that. And in my view, he would be perfect, as would Kimmich be, to come in and help Rodri, because it's an emergency situation. Even if they only sell Gomez out that 22 or 21 or whatever it is, they've got to get someone in. They absolutely have to now. It's critical, I think.
I agree. And I've been saying this on my shows for ages now, that look, we all look at Rodri as the amazing player he is, and has been for the past 3 seasons at least, consistency wise. And I say to myself, look, he's so relied on, he's so important, and he plays so many minutes that it's just not feasible. At the age of 27, he'll be simply cooked by the time he's 30. Absolutely cooked. Do you know what I'm saying? You cannot be that relied on, that much pressure on your shoulders. Then there's all the narratives over when he doesn't play, we lose. These are all extra mental things he has to deal with. Martin, I know you spoke quite a bit about Bruno G. The 98% thing. I want to get your thoughts on that. Is there any insider or updates we can work with here? Because I'm worried.
No, it's as it is. He wants to come. We've agreed everything with him, agent, down to City doing the release clause. But as I got told, City don't see him as £100 million. I don't think Arsenal see him as £100 million. I don't think anyone sees him as £100 million club-wise. But the trouble is, he's an important cog in the Newcastle machine. So Newcastle can ask for whatever they want for him. And if you don't want to spend it, you don't want to spend it. My issue is, I don't see where we go after that. There's this, Barella or whatever he is at Porto. But I'll be honest with you, I've not seen a lot of him to know that. I don't watch the Portuguese league week in, week out to know. So it's a little bit of an unknown. But yeah, it's a little bit of, I think there's room for Savio +1, unless you get movement out the first team squad. And by first team squad, I've said, I don't mean Phillips or Cancelo because they're not in the squad. I don't see where you're going to get minutes unless you're willing to sacrifice a Rico and Bob at the same time of doing it.
I want to get a general consensus here. Do you guys, the four of you, are you all in agreement that the squad is kind of fine as it is, with maybe 1 or 2 more coming in the door, or do you think the squad could do with some major surgery? Open question to anybody. Conversation.
If we were to get, say, a backup for Rodri that can come in and hit the ground running, I think other than that, the squad is spot on. I don't think there's any concerns other than that. Just you're struggling to. I think Rodri can't play as many games as he has the last couple of seasons. It's just physically impossible, because that guy, if he gets one bad injury and the amount that we rely on him, if he then comes back or rushes back in, then that could ruin his career completely. But for me, I think other than the Rodri backup or someone to play instead of Rodri, other than that, we've got everything we need. We've got You know, we've got wingers who can be direct. We've got wingers who can control the game. You've got a mix of Erling Haaland as your classic number 9. You've got Alvarez who can do another job other than Haaland, more technically. Yeah, you've got everything you need other than just a Rodri backup. That's it, I think, for me.
Anyone else?
I'm going to say, to be honest, I think we need a few more just on the basis of the additional games, Champions League, and then you've got the Club World Cup straight after the Premier League season, and that's another 5 or 6 games. And by that point, the players will be fucking dead on their feet, won't they? So it's the case of need a few more backups just to manage the situation towards the end of the season, especially if you want to fight on the front of the Champions League as well and win that.
But then are you just going to sign players just for the basis of like a Club World Cup, say, as backups?
Well, there's more games in the Champions League as well. There's four more games or 2 more games in the
You've got
Premier
an
League.
additional 2 games with the extra 2 playoffs.
Yeah, I've rattled on about this, and Luke's probably just about to go off. Not again, please. But I mean, if we lose Gomez, get Bruno G. I'm delighted with that, and that squad is then ready. You've got to remember, there's players like everyone says, Bob needs more time. Right, well, he'll get that next year. Rico Lewis needs more time. He'll get that next year. There's about 10 players in that team that will want more time next season, and now they will get it. So I'm not with we need 25, 26. I think 22 max.
You're only allowed 25.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Sabio, we're at 23.
Yeah.
I don't know where this room has become, but we don't have the room. I understand the extra games, totally great. It's 2 or 3 extra. I mean, it depends what you see, because I don't see us going in the playoffs. I think we'll qualify out anyway, direct. Club World Cup for me is going to be a friendly. I don't see any teams taking that seriously, being in the middle of pre-season.
Haven't some said they're going to drop out? Haven't some said?
I mean, it was doing that in June and July.
Yeah.
I seen something about Real Madrid saying they're not playing it, but then Carlo Ancelotti came out and said they are because it's another trophy for them to win.
Vice versa, Luke. That was Ancelotti saying they're not playing, and then Perez came out and said, "Yeah, ignore Ancelotti. We're doing it 100% because they've got to do it for the fans, haven't they?"
Oh well, either or. One of them said go, and one of them said no. So.
But all I'm thinking of, from my point of view, is just the fact since COVID, we've not had a proper summer break, have we? Because we've had the extended Premier League when the COVID season happened. Then you've got to think of Euro 2021, and then Qatar season last season, and then now we're back into Euros again. The players are literally on break.
Yeah, but
when we talk about Rodri.
But the point we're trying to make is, if as long as we get a backup for Rodri and limit it, obviously, and playing as much.
Oh yeah, but
you're saying get backup. Yeah, but you're saying get backups, for this number of games. At the end of the day, we've got players like Tone said there. Sorry, like you've got Bob who needs more game time. You've got Rico Lewis who, needs more game time, in my opinion. And then you've got others on the fringe who can kind of come in and get more game time. Worst case scenario, Kovacic is a backup to Rodri. But I think if City are smart and want to keep kind of 1, Rodri happy, and 2, him fit, then that's the only real option that they need to look at. I don't think there's anywhere else that they do need to look.
You see, I like that train of thought, and I think that train of thought is based on everything kind of going to plan and everything running smoothly. And I think we've built up enough experience under Pep Guardiola to know that there's always 2 or 3 major injuries a season, or else, maybe one player will be consistently injured. I'm looking at Kevin De Bruyne, and I'm saying there's a fat chance of Kevin De Bruyne being able to play 2-3 times a week, 90 minutes, and be relied on. The best football he played when he came back this season was as a substitute. You know what I'm saying? As an impact off the bench when the game needs a game changer, which he is able to do, but in short stints now. And he's a very injury-prone player. I'm looking at John Stones. You couldn't rely on him for the best part of the season just gone by, because he's constantly getting injured, coming back, getting injured, coming back, setting himself back, and so on and so forth. And if you think they're the only 2 players that may suffer with that as we move on, it's a bit naive, in my opinion. I think there is further reinforcements. And there's also the simple concept of, giving the league something new to think about constantly, not allowing a blueprint to develop on. Well, this is just City. This is how City are going to play all the time, and we know what players we're up against. I'm a firm believer in being ambitious and trying to bring in someone new. Like, I'm not saying go and drop 120 million, 150 million on Musiala, even though I would like it. But I'm saying find another talent to help Kevin De Bruyne, another talent to help John Stones, because I don't think you can rely on Kyle Walker either. I'm just being honest. I don't think.
Are you selling someone then, Hugh? Like, say we're at a 23-man squad, you can only have 25.
Yeah.
Well, I would if I'm talking about selling players, I would sell Kyle Walker, and that's no disrespect to him. I just think it's the right time to go, and I think City have been excellent at pinpointing the right times for players to go and not letting them, just fizzle out in a sad way and leave in a bad manner. I think Kyle Walker has been the best right back the Premier League's ever seen and given us his best years. But for me, I just think it's time. I think we're at that point. I would sell Cancelo, I'd sell Calvin Phillips, I'd sell Sergio Gomez. That's 4 spots freed up already. And you still have
no. In the squad. They're not in the squad.
Yeah,
they're not
Phillips,
included in the Premier League squad.
Yeah, Phillips, Cancelo, and that's excluding the 23's excluding that. I'm with you though, Hugh, in terms of if Walker goes, he will need replacing. That's no question about it. If goes, he needs replacing, and Nunes and so on. But it's more this. That's what we're saying is we have the 23, and it's basically 1 or 2 or 3 out of those have to go to get 1, 2 or 3 in. Gomez will obviously
strengthening them.
Yeah,
it's like Bernardo.
I wouldn't be totally against the sale of Nunes and Kovacic either. I'm just being 100%. I like Kovacic. I think he was excellent in what he was brought in to do. I mean, people have this conception that he was meant to be the Gundogan replacement. He was never meant to be the Gundogan replacement. He's just simply not capable. Gundogan's on a different level. Do you know what I'm saying? And with Matheus Nunes, I don't know what his role in the squad is. I don't know what position he's meant to be pinpointed for, or what kind of area he's meant to be pinpointed for. We've seen him deep, we've seen him in 8, we've seen him left wing, and Pep never seems to be comfortable in trusting him and settling him into a particular area. So there's two players, and then throw Kyle Walker. There's 3 players that, if they were to be sold, I wouldn't be losing sleep.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
So
I just don't see teams coming in buying all them players. That's the thing. Because Nunes doesn't want to go to Saudi.
Yeah.
And there's only Saudi coming for him. And he doesn't want to go. Kovacic, there was that rumours about Galatasaray wanting a loan deal. But then that's gone quiet. Walker, I don't see leaving. This is the thing I know. Are we a bit worried that we're thinking the squad's not good enough?
I just think, for me, Martin, I think these players who are backups, I think we can get better if you, like Hugh's pinpointed out, your Nunes, Kovacic, Walkers, you could get better players for the right time of period, like when you need to rotate in the season. I don't think a Nunes is suitable to come in at the right time, like when things are heated in the season, like when, like say mid-season, when we've got to have a great midfield, and he's like sometimes inconsistent with his form.
Yeah,
sorry, the only reason I'm asking is because we've got to be careful, because then we're going back into a level where we were 3 years ago when we couldn't give. If we're after someone better than Nunes and better than Kovacic, how do you get them the sufficient game time for them to be happy?
Well, you don't. I think that's something
that's where we were 3 years ago with Gabriel Jesus again and Zinchenko.
Yeah, but my thesis on that is, or my theory on that is, that when you sign for Manchester City, you're not signing on the basis that, on FIFA, I don't know if you guys play FIFA on career mode, yeah? And it asks you, when you're negotiating with a player, it tells you to tell them how important they are going to be to your team. Crucial, important, unimportant, blah, 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 blah. There's none of that at Manchester City. You're joining a squad. And you're kind of playing roulette. You're kind of playing with fire that either Pep will take to you and he sees you as a fantastic piece to his jigsaw and you'll consistently play in that, this, that, the other, or else you may be in the shadows a little bit and you might not be, you might not have his trust. You might not fit the way he likes it. When you join City, you're joining Pep. You're joining a squad. We're not looking for players to come in and go, right, I am now the main man. I am now the main number 8. I am now the main winger. I'm just part of this system. That's what we have with Mahrez, what we have with Sterling, that's what we have with Sane, Jesus. All these players were rotatable, but in any other team in the world, they start, as we've seen when they leave.
Yeah. But then that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. You know, a year or two down the line, they're going to kick off.
But no one should be guaranteed a first team place, so you've got
But
to earn
they
it in
are.
Man
This is
City.
the thing. We do know they are. Phil Foden is guaranteed a first team place.
There's maybe 4 in the squad. You would say is our first names in the team sheet. You would say Ederson, Rodri, Haaland, and Foden. I think at this minute in time are the 4 guaranteed starters. Everybody else is rotatable.
These players like your Nunes and Kovacic's, they haven't got someone to compete with that. Like you just said there, should be first in the team. These players can be rotated, but if they're not delivering up to the standards on the pitch, then we've got to say you're not cutting the standards for Man City, and we need to get someone better in. Also, as well, we could have someone that's versatile, like let's say Kimmich can play the midfield, can play the right back role. That's 2 positions covered in one when we need it.
That's why I'm saying, like, I'm not saying go and get a specialist for a certain position, because then you are, dipping your toes in the water of a player saying I expect to play that position. I'm talking about get another one of those kind of midfield winger type players he falls under the umbrella of a Manchester City attacker who Pep can piece into his jigsaw on a week-to-week basis. That's where I think we need further reinforcements, because we could find ourselves stuck if 1 or 2 injuries hit, and then we're all trying to put pieces together and go, well, can he slot in there? Can he slot in there? But
we're all sorry, Hugh. We're all saying this about players like Nunes and stuff. We've already seen what Kovacic can do, and he's been a solid kind of impact player, shall we say, when he's come on for Rodri. Nunes wasn't given a huge chance last season, let's be honest, and he's shown it in glimpses that he can do it. For example, Red Star Belgrade away, Forest at home. For me, I think if he's given the opportunity, it's completely a different scenario to Calvin Phillips, where we've said give him a chance, and he's just completely fucked it. But I feel like with Nunes, he's got the ability, but he seems like a very kind of form player. Like he has to constantly kind of be given a chance to kind of show it. And in a squad like City, you're not going to get that. So I think he learned quickly that he has to perform when he's on the pitch. For me, I think he will be kind of what we've missed next season.
Don't forget, we're expecting Jack Grealish's minutes to go up.
Yeah,
exactly.
And all these other. This is the thing. We've got to be. There was a lot of players because for last season we had more injuries than we've ever had.
Well, yeah, we had De Bruyne out for 6 months. Sorry, John.
You had, because I'm expecting Stones' minutes to go up. I'm expecting Grealish's minutes to go up. Kovacic, I mean, people say he had nearly 3,000 minutes last season.
Mm.
And
I think your best mate's in the chat, Martin.
Yeah, I know. I'm ignoring him. I don't have respect. I won't do it out of respect for you, but yeah.
Now you say what you want, mate.
But at the end of the day, when the trophies stop, knitting stops. That's just it is. When the trophies stop, knitting stops. You know what I mean? Anyway, he'd never heard of Manchester. He'd never heard of Manchester City 20 years ago. Anyway, the symbol you've thrown me off now. Anyway, carry on.
Oh, I love you, Martin. I love you.
Martin, man. Martin's a legend, man.
I thought I was the main road speaking next Tuesday, apparently.
No, I don't see it as main road. I just see it as the second part, Martin.
Well, listen, not everyone. Listen, people can have whatever opinions they want. It's fine, aren't they?
They're like arseholes, aren't they? Everyone has one. So
yeah, everyone has.
Let them.
The thing is with Kovacic is he played what 2,800 minutes. You've got 2,727 to be more exact. De Bruyne was at 1,800 minutes nearly, and he was out for 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting his minutes to then go back up, because I don't think Kevin De Bruyne was used as people. Kevin De Bruyne was used exactly as I thought he was going to be. Once you're fit, you're in.
Mm.
because he was playing. He was starting most games, even when he was playing crap. And
Yeah,
that's
and
the
I feel
Kevin
like
De Bruyne is one of them men who you're in.
that's what I mean. And like, I think with De Bruyne as well, like it didn't matter what form he was in, that he was playing anyway, because we all know that he can just on a sixpence create something.
Or nothing, yeah.
So, but again, like some people are talking about loans in the chat. Like, I don't think any of us include any of these fringe loan players when we're talking about the squad. You know,
Correct.
the Perron, things like that.
McAtee.
But
Are we in agreement that the players out in loan? Sorry, go on, Martin. Go on.
I agree with you. I do think like what Harry and Hugh, you're both saying. I think that's coming. I think you're a season too soon for that. I think that will come next summer. I think when the big revamp begins.
I think there's a big kind of fire sale next summer.
Yeah, I think that's when KDB possibly goes. Your Musiala comes in. Your
Stones, Walker
goes out. Your Frimpong comes in. Yeah. I think that's going to be all on next summer.
But that's not in City's nature, though, Martin. City don't operate like that. City always tried to prevent problems before they arise. And if someone is to be the future or the successor to a player in the squad, there's always a period of grace before said player leaves. Like the prime example is Fernandinho to Rodri. You know what I'm saying? Rodri was there for a year or two with Fernandinho.
We never have financial problems we've got now in the league. This is the other side of the coin. we can't. I think. I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on Pep. Because you get the rumours of Pep staying and Pep's going. This is a big crucial thing, because did they go and sell 5 players now, spring 6 in, and then the new manager comes in who potentially goes, don't fancy any of them.
Well, this is the thing. Would you not think take advantage of the fact that Pep is still here this summer and try and use him as a pulling power this summer on the basis that we may not have that next summer? City may not be as an attractive proposition to a player next summer when it's a brand new project beginning.
Yeah, but Hugh, you don't. I don't think you should be playing that game anyway. Your players don't want to be here because of that. We don't want him here. I get Pep's pulling power. I get players. All the players love him and all that. But that you cannot buy a player just for that. That's if somebody says, "Oh, Pep might not be here or I'm not moving," then we don't want them. No question. Don't.
No, I'm not saying buy a player just because Pep is still here, but the sad reality is Pep has a massive pulling power. Do you know what I'm saying? Players do come to Manchester City because they want to play for Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, we're all fully aware of that, and that's obviously kind of been the pulling power over the last 9 seasons. But going back to you kind of saying that we haven't done kind of like a big revamp before, I think looking at Pep's second season, that summer transfer window, didn't we sign like a lot of kind of players to come in that we needed, you know, the likes of Benjamin Mendy, Bernardo Silva. So there has been a revamp under Pep previously, but again, I think it's more going to be. I think a lot of players are wanting to stay this season just to kind of see what Pep is doing, because they know if they stay that they're a starting player. But obviously, if he's to go next year, sorry, Ton, but if he's to go next year, then a lot of them will know that they're probably out the door as well. So they're probably just making the most of it for another year, and then we'll see.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I've completely my mind's gone. Oh well, I'm always told that like Pep, since Pep's been here, City have only signed one top world-class, real known player, which is Haaland. So I don't know. Obviously, Pep has pulling power. He is with by far the best coach around at the moment, and all the rest of it. But yeah, I just think. I don't know. I don't like this thing of a player moving for that reason and that reason alone, and that's the only reason is if Pep stays. Like if Haaland turns around tomorrow, and it's just pure speculation, if he turns around tomorrow and said, "Oh, Pep goes next summer," I'm going, "Well, sod off." Do you know what I mean? That's fine. And any player, no one, you know, hopefully Haaland won't do that. I'm just using it as a big superstar player. Whoever they are, that isn't why they should be joining, or the only reason why they're joining Man City.
You got to remember, nobody's doing business in the Premier League apart from Villa, and that's because they've had to sell 2 of their big boys.
But Villa aren't even doing like big term transfers either. It's like 8 or 9 million.
They're selling their 2 star guys to bring in two lower, not because I actually rate Matson, but you know what I mean. That they're having to sell Douglas Luiz for a song, 20 million quid, euros, or whatever it is, and two players. One doesn't even want to leave. One doesn't even want to go to Villa. He's like, no thanks. And this is what's happening. Arsenal have done nothing. Liverpool done nothing. United offered 35 million for Branthwaite and went, see you.
I think they're on the verge of signing Xerxes as well. From what I've seen.
I honestly think the Premier League just at the minute is at a standstill because of the stupid PSR rules we're all stuck in.
Yeah.
Well, we can agree on that.
Next week,
we can agree on that for sure.
I think next week's going to be a big kind of eye opener to what spending's going to happen. Obviously, with the outcome of this court case, I feel like that's going to be a big outcome of when clubs start spending. If we obviously, fuck over the Premier League and something gets changed instantly, then clubs might look and go, yeah, hang on, actually, we better start spending now.
Yeah, one of the problems, though, is Real Madrid. Someone's mentioned it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember who it is. And they've spent and they've improved and they're buying these crazy players and crazy money and all this stuff. And some people look at that and go, well, why aren't City buying Mbappe? Why aren't City buying bloody Bellingham and all these other players, magical players on, 600 grand a week? Look, if you're looking at Real Madrid, and then somebody the other day messaged me and said, we should be doing what Chelsea are doing. It's like, we definitely should not be doing what Chelsea are doing. We are not stopping 35 players. Oh, I can't remember some clown on Twitter.
Well, if you look at La Liga and the Premier League have separate financial rules.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Barcelona are like, what,
1.4? Wouldn't get away with that in the Premier League, or what La Liga are getting away with.
Well, Barcelona are like, what, like 800 million in debt or something?
Yeah, 800.
Yeah.
But then again, United are in debt as well, and they get away with it. So,
but look at Barcelona though; they can't afford to get the players that they want from City, like Bernardo Silva. When they want to get Haaland, how can you afford him when you're that much deep in debt? And
I don't think the Haaland one. I think that's just.
That's something that
lazy journalism, just spouting shite. If I'm truthfully honest,
Bernardo Silva was a key one.
The reason I thought 50 million. So the reason I talked about the revamp and was talking about it was I was talking about your KDB possibly going to leave next one. We don't know what's even happening with Edison anymore, but we're sort of stuck. I'll be honest with you, Bernardo's probably entering his last year or two coming up because he's only contracted till 2026. I think if John Stones doesn't have a better season injury-wise, I think there could be questions on his future going to next summer.
Yeah.
If Jack Grealish doesn't have a big summer, I think there's a question going into that. And that's what I mean by revamp. You could end up with 4 or 5, not squad, but proper first team 11ers that are on the verge of going. And you're going and to replace a Grealish, KDB, a Kyle Walker, a John Stones, you're talking 300 million.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just on them 4.
Yeah, can I just say another thing people say is, if City got no money or, they've got loads of money, why aren't we spending it? It's like, we'd never recklessly spent. I know we bought a few dodgy players, but we don't, just because we might have 300 million in the bank doesn't mean, we're going to spend 300 million quid. It doesn't work that way. It's people, the money is there. No doubt, the money is there to spend, and if they were desperate and felt the need, they would spend it. But they don't feel the needs. Clearly,
well, it's like the thing is as well. Like people forget. No, sorry to interrupt you there, Tom, but you made a good point, and just wanted to add to it. People forget that our record signing is only 100. Well, I say only, but do you know what I mean? In the context of other clubs, it is still only 100 million. People are expecting us to go out each season now and break that transfer record year in, year out. And well, our transfer record, obviously not the record transfer in Neymar, 220, but I just think so many people are like, we've got to change everything every season. We've got to buy a new player for every position every other year. And at the end of the day, we've just won 4 in a row. We're on the back of a treble season following that. If it's not broken, don't fix it. at the end of the day,
Yeah, I don't fully agree with that because I do agree with you on that. If you're standing still in football, you're going backwards.
Well, that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah,
I get that.
I don't want to come across for a second, lad, like I'm saying City need to go out and spend 600 million.
And I'm not saying that at all. I'm just
the standstill that Martin's talking about.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Obviously, you do have to show progression and sign players, to develop a team. But what I'm trying to say is, when people are saying, "Oh, let's go out and get 5, 6, 7 players," Cavani, Skelly, and Mbappe. Do you know what I mean? It's completely changed the whole squad when it's not a broken squad. At the end of the day, all you need is one player to back up. You're probably the best player other than Ford in last season, because you need to be wary of his game time and injury and risk prevention. You might need a right back if Walker does decide to go. Let's say that. I know he doesn't want to go, but obviously if he goes next season, they're going to be looking there. It's just damage limitations of just kind of saying, right, we've got a good squad here. We need to damage limitations in terms of helping out Rodri, because we can't afford to have him out injured or complaining about his tiredness. And then, obviously that forms into complacency in the league or whenever he's playing. And then obviously just looking kind of...
Amazing.
Oh, I love it. Is that a scouser in there?
So I'm giving them the attention. Do you know what I mean? If you want your moment of fame, go for it. Say 115 in the chat, and you'll get.
They've even gone and got a bald manager just to try and compete with us.
You've got to remember, last season we spent over 200 million. So we did spend money last year. The difference was we brought 4 in, but 4 went. And I don't mean the kids. We lost Gundogan, we lost Mahrez, we lost Cole Palmer and Laporte. All went out the first team squad. Then we could bring the 4 in. But then on the other side of the coin, you bring in Doku in, which is great, to replace Mahrez. Problem is, then Cole Palmer goes, well, that's my game time gone. See ya. There's the exit door. So I think we've got to get a balance. And I know some fans don't like the Rico Lewis and they don't want the Oscar Bobs. But City have also got to look at that as well. We can't, the EDS cannot just be a factory for selling.
Absolutely. It can't go like the case of Cobham.
I do agree with signings. I do think we should. I mean, we've got one in Savio. I think we've all totally overhauled up. We've actually brought a winger in. And I think, if we get Savio and we get one more, which, I do think they will get a midfielder, whoever that is. I do think that's the cover for, I don't even want to call it cover, the potential to give Rodri some resting games.
Yeah.
Because I think we've got to come out this backup or rest because that player won't come in on the proviso he's backup to Rodri. Bruno's not coming in as a backup to Rodri. He played 37 out of 38 games. He's going to want to play alongside Rodri. But then back to your question is, what do you do with Kovacic and Nunes?
If we sign Bruno,
you stuck with him,
and only lose Gomez, that is an unbelievable summer, and that squad is ready, in my view.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just setting tweaks. We don't need to go for a mad overhaul. We just need to, let's say, Kyle Walker. He's been a good saving for the club, but his time's over now. We just need to refresh that position, like a Frimpong maybe, someone who's younger, fresher, fitter, got a lot more energy and pace to give. And then, for Nunes and Kovacic, if they don't get the game time this season or don't deliver, it's time to upgrade them players.
Yeah.
There's probably better quality out there, I'm sure of it, if them lads don't deliver.
The thing is, though, I never panic or never stress too much over these things. It's more just conversation based because I always have a massive amount of faith in the club and the recruitment team and their timing of execution in everything they do, because they've got very little wrong in these situations in the past. So there's never really a reason to throw your toys out of the pram. I mean, contrast that, say, with United or Chelsea or any of these clubs who are constantly getting things wrong. Then you can start having deep conversations and aggressive conversations about your dealings with the transfer market. But as City fans, we kind of have the luxury of a fantastic board and recruitment team who who've shown a nature of being able to execute things in the at the right time when it's needed. So you can have these conversations, but at the end of the day, it has to be overruled by a respect and a faith, I think, in those running the club. But I'm going to have a look at some of these super chats before we continue. Big up to MCFC. He says, good evening, panel. Hope all is well. Do we have any good news? The good news is Briggsy survived his birthday in Manchester. That's the good news.
No comment. I'm here. That's enough, like Hugh said, but no comment. What happened?
I feel like there's a story to tell there, Harry.
There's a story. You'll get one.
Not you getting naked in Switzerland again, is it?
I'm gonna mute him if this story begins to get anyway mad.
Look, I'm not telling stories because there's some stuff that shouldn't be disclosed publicly. If you want to know the story, DM me and I'll tell you it privately.
Well, like,
save them for the concourse.
Because then, Luke, what I can do is, Luke. Go on, sorry.
Save your stories for the first game of the season, Ipswich at home. Yeah, we'll all have a good drink and a chit chat then, and we can talk about it. I'm not sure YouTube's monetization to be able to handle your stories.
Hey, I'm not disclosing anything. I'm just kind of leading people on.
What I'm saying is, right, Luke, if someone reveals my story to someone else, then I'm coming after that person who's disclosed it to give you a good one.
Okay. Big up to Matthew Hoyle says, what about the players out on loan? I think, would you guys agree with me when I say it's fair to say the players out on loan probably don't have a future at the club?
Yeah, I would say so. Even Perone or Perone, however you say it, it might be wrong, but yeah, he'll go out on loan this summer.
He's going to Las Palmas.
Ah, there you go. And
yeah, I think I said something earlier about that.
There's no buyout. There's no. Yeah. It's only a straight loan, which is quite unusual. So he's sitting on a sell-on somewhere. Only a loan.
And what's the other one? McAtee. That's more of an interesting one, McAtee.
I've heard he might be coming back, and that was what triggered knitting yesterday when I said McAtee might be back.
Oh, right. Oh, God. Well,
that's what triggered it.
I think he'll go. I think he'll go, and they'll have the buyback thing. But
I think Chelsea,
I've seen Chelsea mentioned with him.
Yeah.
I think
Enzo was a big fan.
They're just becoming City versions. They're becoming City reserves. Chelsea. Maresca's in and all the
It's like when
they don't need Cobham anymore. Just come to the CFA.
Just come to the CFA to nick everyone, coaches, players. We'll have you all.
CFA South.
Don't you remember when Liverpool did that with Southampton? They was just buying all their players from them, weren't they, under Brendan Rodgers?
Yeah.
And hacking out a scouting network, but
careful, look.
You're going to trigger
like that.
Not bring them on.
I think in summary, Matthew, the thing with the loans is I generally feel, and feel free to cut across me if any of you feel different, lads. I generally feel in 95% of the cases when a player gets loaned out from City, it's because he probably doesn't have a long-term future at the club. In 95% of the cases, there'll always be one or two who come back from a loan. And
Cancelo was the example of.
Yeah.
That was fair.
It alone is to put them in the window for a permanent transfer for 99% of the things. Hopefully they do well, put another 5 mil on the value or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what they're on loan for. And the academy, Martin touched on it earlier. The academy in the main is there to make money. That is what it is there for. We have made huge sums of money from the academy. I know everyone wants 11 Man City fans across the 11. It's never going to happen. But that is there to make money as well. Yeah.
Yep. Big up Jill, member for 1 month. Congratulations on hitting a month, Jill. She says 1 month down, already being very prestigious. Well, listen, as I always say, the members on the channel here are very prestigious people, and we are well looked after by the king of our members, Professional Idiot, who has just gifted 5 memberships. So 5 of you lot have now just joined our prestigious club for prestigious people. JTI is in the chat there as well. He's always looking after the community. Honestly, the memberships, it means a lot. Martin, you'll know as well, memberships on the channel are a massive show that we're doing something good, and it's just a nice way for you guys to support and feel involved in the community. So big up to Jill for a member for a month, and big up to you, my king, Professional Idiot, for the gifted 5 as always. Cannot thank you enough.
Has he changed his name?
Bro, he's a man. He's a mysterious man. He changes his name regularly.
He's on the move. He's keeping it on the down low.
I don't want to ask what gap means.
Yeah, I tell you what, by the look of that little screenshot there, I might join their bloody channel. Good stuff.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
I hope your missus ain't watching this, Tom.
Yeah, I know. She's
Ooh.
downstairs, I think.
He's going to get that frying pan around the back of his head in a minute.
Just a live assassination on the Humory channel.
We need Tone, man. We need Tone for his opinions. Big up MCFC again says, do you not reckon we see news heat up in July, or is it just the club is fully tight-lipped at the moment? I kind of touched a bit on this at the top of the stream, didn't I? Look, as much as transfers maybe will happen this summer, we'll have to see. They are very preoccupied with a lot going on right now. I think it's fair to say, lads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
a lot of the agents are out in Germany. They're already out in Germany. And like you said, City have got other things on the mind. They're dealing with contract negotiations. There's a lot. There is still lots going on. I mean, Foden's going to go up to what, 375 a week, Tom?
Yeah.
He's going to. This is what I mean. That all comes out of the budget as well. That everyone forgets about. These contract intentions. There's not a separate pot for contracts, separate pot in, and a separate. They have a budget and they split around, and that's where 375 grand a week, not bad work if you can get it.
Well, I think he warrants it for Foden, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, that's what I mean. He earns it, but they want to put Haaland on a new contract.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Just on that the Haaland one, what do you think the reality is to it? To a new contract, do you think there's a good chance we can make it happen?
Oh yeah.
He looks comfortable.
It'll be a new contract and a higher release clause that'll drop down year on year.
He looks comfortable at the club, doesn't he? You can't really say he's going to go anywhere anytime soon, especially when you've got the hit of Alvarez moving on.
I don't think he goes to Madrid.
I honestly think he ends up like Aguero in just 10 years.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I don't see him going purely because but that's what obviously everyone was touting, that he stays here for 2 or 3 years, then goes to Real Madrid. But I think that kind of battle with Mbappe, I don't think he would be in the same team as him. I think for me,
you've never seen Messi and Ronaldo in the same team, have you?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's within their interest. I don't think it's within Haaland or Mbappe's interest to play together, because as much as they're footballers, they're also commercial assets. You know what I'm saying?
The sponsorships won't want them in the same team.
No.
Like Harry's just said, you never saw Messi and Ronaldo playing together. That was
I'm just going off obviously before Mbappe. Before Mbappe signed, people thought, Haaland's going to be here for 2 or 3 seasons, then go somewhere like Madrid or Barca. Yeah. But obviously, Barca can't afford anywhere near him. But yeah, I think he said several times in his.
Maybe Saudi afford him, but they're going to have to really smash to get him.
Yeah.
But him and his agent, Rafael Pimenta, both came out and said that they can't really see him being anywhere else other than City at the minute, just because of everything. He's got everything that he needs.
Well, it's true. Like I always say this about pretty well. It's more specifically about Bernardo every summer. I always say this about him. It's like, where are you going to go that has a better infrastructure, a better project in place for you? That first of all suits you stylistically as a footballer, offers you a platform to win trophies season in, season out, and even post Pep life, you would. As a fan base, I'd like to think we would have a massive amount of faith that the club will take the right steps to get us back to not winning trebles and 4 in a row type thing, but to being consistent challengers or being ambitious to try and stay up there as best as we possibly can. So, where else are you going to go in Europe right now other than Real Madrid? That's going to give you that. I don't think there's anywhere. And as I say, I think the narratives commercially suit Haaland versus Mbappe the same way it suited Messi versus Ronaldo. It's more liquid. There's more money to be made off them clashing for the biggest honors for their clubs, the biggest honors individually. But Haaland has to overcome the issue of they don't give Ballon d'Ors to Man City players. That's just the way it is, isn't it?
No, they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
You'd also just have to look at another thing, because in the fantasy world, if we get the news that we all want around Christmas, Pep signing a new contract, that gives Haaland more hope and more expectation to carry on dominating the way he has done. And what other club, apart from Real Madrid, which they've got Mbappe, where else would he go? Because would he really want to go to France where the league's dead and their competition for Champions League is slacking and we're competing for it? So if Pep was to stay, it's a big boost for him as well.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. We're going to talk a little bit about Pep in a second. We've only really got about 10, 15 minutes left. I know Luke's doing a watch along and the lads want to watch the France-Netherlands game. So big up to Piplup. Good to see you, Piplup, man. He's a big fan of the academy players. Piplup is our resident academy watcher here. He tells me all about the up-and-coming players. And he's always very accurate as well. He was right about Jacob Wright being a big talent. Sissoko as well. So he says more debuts from academy players next season. I don't know. Do any of you guys pay much attention? I used to a lot, but not so much anymore to the under-18s.
There's a lot of money being pumped into the academy as well from under-7s across. They're talking about 28 up to 38 million being pumped in across under-7s all the way up to put more money in. I'm not sure. I mean, Sissoko probably, I would expect.
Mika Hamilton?
Yeah, potentially come into the squad.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't see anyone really.
There's always one or two who everyone's like, oh, well, we want them in the first team, and then they end up getting sold. Like Carlos Borges. Who else was there? Remember Liam Delap?
Yeah, but look at him now. He's gone quiet. Borges.
Yeah, what's he doing now? He's still at Ajax.
I don't know, to be honest.
I think so, but I don't think he's playing.
This is the thing with the academy for me, is because like when we were just talking about players getting loaned out, you don't have a long-term future at Man City. Do you remember when Phil Foden broke through and he had his great first season, and then people was like, "Oh, it's just his breakthrough year," and then loan him out. The club stood by him, and we didn't loan him out. And now look at him; he's the best player in the Premier League.
Yeah, but I think they've seen that from early and managed his game time more than
Pep
a case of. Yeah, Pep said it from the day that he walked in and seen him that, at his age, he's the best player that he's ever seen. Because one, he didn't see Messi at 17 years of age, but two, he just saw what a talent he was going to be. And I feel like when you've got players like that, you need to slowly bring them in rather than just throw them in. Because you could, look at Dele Alli and that things, for example. You throw a player in straight in the deep end, sometimes doesn't go well.
There's that in Darla. Is it Joel and Darla? There's a lot of promise on him.
Yeah.
But again, there was a lot of promise on Borges, wasn't there? So I never know.
I think you will see that because of the amount of games in the Carabao is going to get in the way of other things. So you could well see 8 or 9 of them starting in a Carabao game.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's right. MLS lads there.
Yeah.
Is he anything like Emil Heskey? We need an Emil Heskey.
It's a difficult one because the trouble is, it's like if you follow me, it's like the EDS. They finished was it 17th, 18th last season in the EDS Premier League 2. But the trouble is that's not always a fair reflection because some of these players were called up into the first team squad, and then we're not using the EDS. So it can also have a detriment effect because people like to get them in the match day squad for that feel, that experience. See what it's like. It's a weird one. I do think you'll get. I don't see anyone coming up. I see Hamilton and that being used more on the bench potentially. But again, it depends on signings.
Yeah, it's true.
Because don't forget, by the way, and this is the one thing that I did touch upon is you go to the back end of last season, the last 4 or 5 games when everyone was fit. It was Oscar Bobby who had to drop out the squad.
Yeah, he did one. Yeah, and then Gomez. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's just that balance.
It comes down to how the summer shapes up. Really, we'll have a better idea towards the end of August, I suppose. But listen, guys, hit that like button, man. Keep hitting the likes. I don't know what likes we're on right now, and subscribe if you're new. The next goal, of course, is 10K. We'll have a big party and a big giveaway at 10K. So yeah, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. Just for the last sort of 5 minutes or so, people, I want to chat a bit about Pep and his future. Obviously, I don't know about you guys, but I am very invested in Tolmi. I'm very invested in Tolmy and his tweets and the opinions he shares and wherever he gets his news from. I love when he tweets. And he said something along the lines of the other day that within the CFG, there's a positive feeling that Pep can be persuaded to do a 10th year.
Yeah.
This is obviously very good. We don't know what the source is. We don't know where he's got this from. I don't know who Tommy is. I know some people do, but how are we feeling about the Pep situation? I suppose, yeah. How are we feeling about that? I suppose, Tom.
Pep, I think he will stay on. It's weird. I chat with Martin, away from here, and it's stay, go, depending on what day you know. I like Tommy. I follow him, and he follows me, and I chat with him that. And he put on there something that sounded like he was going one day, and then the next day said, "Oh, I think he'll stay." I don't think he did it on purpose, but everyone took his initial one as he was going. But I think he will stay. I think he'll extend, but I don't like the rolling contract idea. Look, if it's the only way he stays, great. Then that's fine. Pep's the boss. But I don't like it. I don't like the uncertainty. Every bloody summer we'll be on here saying, well, is he staying or going? The players, is he staying or going? Players resigning, is Pep staying or going? So the rolling thing doesn't work for me. I think it should be 2 or 3 years, try and time down. And I've got a feeling he's going to add a couple more years on top. Yeah, I'm feeling good about it, but I am deluded, as I'm often told. So, but I think he'll stay.
For me, it's go on. Sorry,
go on, Briggs. Go on.
For me, it's a case of it's like Tony just said there. One day we're on, the next we're off. What news are we getting to give us some certainty and confidence? I don't think until there's an official club announcement. No offense to Tommy, he might be a great guy, but I want to see the club announcement where it says Pep stays for X amount of years, and then we can all breathe and say, right, it's sorted. Oh, let's say Pep's to resign, and I get that. Well, to end at the end of his contract, but I'm not buying all this speculation at the minute because if he does go, I don't want to get my hopes up. He was staying and vice versa. If he was to stay, I've got it into my head that he's leaving. I just want to see that official statement where he says he's leaving or he's staying. So I'm just going to remain calm on this till we actually get the announcement.
It's the rolling contract thing. It kind of just kicks the can down the road a little bit, doesn't it? It kind of just stops the problem short term, but doesn't give you any long term clarity. But I said on a stream myself, Pep's probably the only manager in the world I'd be content with that. I'd be content with the rolling contract and say, look, it's on the base that look, you're getting another year of Pep, and then maybe next year you get another year of Pep, and then after that you tell the next manager you ain't getting a rolling contract. I'm sorry, mate.
I don't think, as much as Tom wants to do the 5-year deal, which we all want to do, you're not going to get that out of Pep.
I think it's 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year and that's it.
Because it was weird, because the other night, there was a few people who all got a text and got the same message of, we've been told Pep's gone. He hasn't agreed. Then it was all like, because Tony and Tom got the exact messages I was getting. And then LB, and we were all getting the messages. It was like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. Then obviously I got someone else texting going, no, he's agreed a 1-year deal.
Yes, what I had.
But he's not going to do any more. It's 10 years, then he's gone. So I don't know, because tomorrow it might be a 5-year deal now. So I don't. But it's like, how is it? It's up to City now to announce this, because all you're going to do is get this situation for 6 months. You can't wait to November, December. I know the club might want to do that, but like you said, we're just going to be in Groundhog Day for 5 months. He's here, isn't he? Isn't he? Is there? And we'll always put like, don't make signings because Pep's not committing. We don't know. We're all in the dark.
Yeah. Pep won't decide till October time. You'll hear around October, I suspect.
Then I think you're going to wait non-stop.
Yeah, definitely. But Jack Gorn put the article out on the parade day. That wasn't his fault, but people close to Pep think he's going, and that's where a lot of the word is coming from. Is people around him, his coaches, all those people are just saying, "Yeah, no, I think it's his last year." So that's where it all comes from. But there's still optimism. Chaldean's smooth. We all love him. Pep loves him. You know, he's a smooth operator, isn't he, Chaldean? You know, I believe in him.
Right, boys. On that note, I'm going to leave you with Pep, and I'm going to say goodbye.
Yeah, chat.
Oh,
Luke's
wow,
going
that-
over to do a watch along now for France, Netherlands. So when this ends, make sure to go over to City Luke TV, subscribe there, tune in, hit the like, and join him for the match. Share your opinion.
Always a pleasure being on with you boys as well, and I really appreciate it. And I'll speak to you all soon. But thanks for having me on again, too, mate.
Of course, in a bit, Luke. In a bit.
Take care, boys.
What I will say with the Pep situation is another thing. It's because it's the off season and we're not actually going to matches. We're not watching club football. This is why the speculation is growing and growing. Everyone's getting like stressed about the situation. Once pre-season kicks off, and I say pre-season at least, people will be bothered about watching the football team again rather than the manager situation because we can just invest on how the team's performing on the pitch.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
It'll still be there, but it'll just be a case of we're back to watching the football team rather than talking about the manager.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, it's when the football's not on, you start thinking about things that you don't need to stress over too much. And as Tone says, look, the Chaldean's a smooth operator. The board.
We were in
this
situation last time, by the way. Because I went to check the dates. It was the last year. He went into the last year of his contract. The last time he renewed.
Well, the thing with Pep is the reason I don't think he will sign a 5-year contract is because he's always been a man that's been very hell bent on when he signs a contract, he wants to fulfill every minute of that contract. He wants to stay right till the end of that contract, unless he's sacked in a crazy world where he's sacked. It's not going to happen. But that's the way he is. So I don't think at this stage, after 9 years in 2025, he'll want to commit for another 5. I think the rolling contract is where City will be able to potentially persuade him and get him to stay. If that's what he's able to do. So look, I just wanted to touch in on it briefly. Obviously, there's nothing about Pep really to talk about major. It's just nice to share opinions, I suppose, on these panel shows. Big up MCFC with a buzzer beater super chat says Bayern Munich has opened to selling Joshua Kimmich this summer amid interest from 5 clubs in signing him, including Man City from Sky Germany. Tone, you're a big Kimmich fan. I see you talking about him quite a bit on Twitter. I would love Kimmich at City, but I look at his wages of something like €375,000 a week, and I say if he wants City, I think he'll have to lower his wages substantially.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if he's €375, I don't know what that is, 300 or whatever, but
About 350.
More than so. But you would still expect him to be one of the top earners. Now, if Foden's earning 375 and De Bruyne's around the same or 400. I'm afraid Kimmich is going to be on roughly around that area as well. Kimmich is so good that if we sign him, honestly, I don't mean to hammer Kyle Walker here, but it sort of takes care of that issue a bit as well because he can play on the right and come in. So it takes care of Kyle Walker having to play so much. It would be a huge signing. I've still got this nagging feeling that he will sign a new deal at Bayern. Even though all the talk, the only thing that does change my mind is if they complete the signing of that lad from Fulham. I don't think they have yet, have they, Bayern? I haven't seen it anyway, but Polina or whatever he's called.
Polina.
Then maybe, yeah. But I'm a massive fan. He's an amazing player. Everyone who watches him knows how good he is. His age, he's just turned 29, but he's going to be on big money here. He's going to be on at least 350 wherever he goes, and he'll get a massive signing on fee as well. Someone will pay it if he is indeed leaving. Paris as well, apparently, are looking at him. So someone's going to pick him up.
Yeah, it doesn't forget. I mean, I love Kimmich. Has been my dream for years. He's my dream boy, but I'm not sure about right back anymore. When you watch him in that Real Madrid game, he got absolutely done by dinner. So I'm not sure about him going to right back anymore. You'll all be praying for Walkabout when you watch Kimmich at right back against Vinny Jr.
Go on, sorry, lads.
No, so I love Kimmich. The only thing with Kimmich is, in 2 years you're going to need to be replaced.
Yeah. That's
my only thing with Kimmich. I love Kimmich, and he's my dream guy. But no, 2 years, and we're right back in the same convo again.
And
Similar
what
to
I was just going to add
Kovacic.
was that
It's similar circumstances when we signed Kovacic, wasn't it? You know, it's a short term luxury. So look, we'll have to see how that develops. The Kimmich thing for me is similar to the Pep one. One day he's leaving, one day he's staying. One day he's leaving, one day he's staying.
Yeah.
So look, maybe we'll get some more clarity and conclusion on the Kimmich situation post Euros, but for now, we will see. We will see. Listen, we're going to start wrapping it up because the football is about to kick off. I'm going to put a link into the chat now for Mancunian Way, Martin's channel. Have you any shows coming up soon, Martin?
No, we did one last night on Monday or Tuesday. And it now confirmed we are starting the Main Road Years. It's kicking off
Okay.
next week,
Nice.
and it will be a weekly show.
So there's the Main Road dickheads are coming together to make a show.
The Main Road, see you next Tuesday. We're all coming together. Let's go. That won't get any views.
There you go, people. For any of you
Us
younger
at the top,
City
Etihad
fans,
boys.
for
And
any of you
Martin and
younger
Donna.
City fans who want to hear about the Main Road days from the horse's mouth, there you go. Martin's starting a new show. There's a link in the chat there. I'm going to put it in again. Get over to Mancunian Way. Subscribe there. Show love to him. We appreciate all our great guests. Briggsy, as always, thank you for coming on. Blue fan from Hull from Twitter. Tone. It's just MCFC Tone on Twitter, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
MCFC Tone. Always sharing great opinions and gives you something nice
Oh,
to
and there's
think
also
about.
a show start. Sorry, quick plug while he's on. There is a new show starting with Tone as well this summer.
Go
this
on,
season.
lads.
And I'm going to do more panel shows with different people. There's big changes coming. More panel shows, more shows, more everything.
Martin, you are bloody everywhere, mate. You are loving life. Love it.
That's what I'm saying, man. Martin works hard, man. Martin works hard for the city community.
Yeah.
So
He's on here or at the hospital. I'm at one of the two at the moment. It works either way.
go to the Mancunian Way, people. Go to the Mancunian Way and show love to Martin over there and make sure you're tuning in whenever he's live and that kind of thing. So listen, enjoy the rest of your evenings. I'll be live with Joe at some point over the weekend. If there's anything, I can't do daily videos. I'm sorry, people. There's nothing to talk about. I'll be just milking absolute rubbish. So I'm not doing daily videos.
You've just hammered someone if they are doing.
You can't talk England because they're shit. You can't talk City because now it's happening. That's just what we're doing.
Got to start moving England.
Listen, we'll be back next week. We'll get the panel back together when a time suits best for everybody. Hopefully Bevo can join us as well next week. And yeah, enjoy the evening blues in a bit.
Tell me who you wanna be. We can always